is Will with ValueMatch, and I want to talk to you about something that really is key to making sales. It's a simple issue, but rarely really addressed. You say the word urgency, and most salespeople, most trained salespeople think they know what you're talking about. They think urgency means like the discount that's going to go away, the number of homes you have that are going to kind of dwindle right now, the number of apartments that are available in a certain size. That's not really urgency, that's your urgency. The commission you're not going to get this month if you don't sell 10. What urgency really means is what the customer's urgency is. That's what's driving the equation. That's what I want to visit with you about today. You see, urgency has to do with the feelings or the emotions that are driving you to do things that you know you either really don't want to do or that you're postponing other important things to do. Urgency is a feeling or an emotion. It's a driver. We keep it well hidden and well away from the salespeople because if they knew what our urgency was, they would, as you know, sneaky salespeople, take advantage of us. And so as salespeople, we need to understand that we need to be able to earn the right to ask about their urgency. Now this takes a little bit of timing, it takes some skill, and it takes a plan. First of all, it takes some skill. You need to be able to build trust and rapport, even in the face of adversity. You don't want to just jump right in and say, "Tell me why you're really here, Mr. Buyer." You've got to wait and plan that question when it's just right. And then later what you have to do is, so let's start off at the beginning. You build some rapport and trust with the customer when they come in. You listen to them. You let them download. You help them feel safe. You ask them questions and you listen to answers where you don't really drill down. You just kind of listen to what they have to say and passively make sure you're there and you're present. You build a little bit of rapport and trust by finding some common interest and values. I'll talk about that in my next video. And then you pose the question, let me show you what it is. Mr. Buyer, you've just explained to me a situation that in some cases may even sound a little urgent, but I know isn't true. It kind of goes this way. Mr. Hathaway, I know you shared the story with me about why you're here, but if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a question. It might be just a little bit personal, but I think it'll help us figure out what the right thing for you to do is next step. Would you mind answering that question for me? You set them up to tell you the truth. Your next question has to do with how long have you been in the situation you're in? What's happened recently, just recently, that's caused you to be more interested in buying now? By the way, that's a trial close, an effective, powerful way to do it. When they give you that answer, you realize that they still haven't told you the truth. And so you question and listen to that answer. They might say something like, well, you know, something's happened or changed recently. And you would say, changed recently? What do you mean by that? And then they would start to spill out this story. And all of a sudden it would start to make more sense about why they've taken their valuable Saturday or valuable evening away from the kids to come and visit with you. Then you start to ask more about that story, and lastly you say, well, Mr. Hathaway, how do you feel about what you just described? And they start to express the emotions and the feelings. What I love about sales is looking in the customer's eyes and just seeing that look when they share the truth with somebody. When they know they're becoming so intimate that they're not going to go down that road with anybody else. When you know you've got a relationship that you've earned and that will produce a really great and productive result. And then the next question is, Mr. Hathaway, how do you want to feel once you've made the right decision? And this is your sales pitch. This is their urgency, how they want to feel. I remember a lady telling me once that she left a condominium that she absolutely loved. She loved it. There was no reason for her to leave it. She lived there for 5 years. After I'd had a chance to really ask her that get honest question, she shared with me that she had an argument with one of her neighbors. That really wasn't the reason though. Later she shared with me that that same neighbor had confronted her a couple of times and she started to feel scared and nervous about her situation. We were getting closer to her real urgency. She felt very uncomfortable in the environment. So uncomfortable that she needed to move out of a condominium she loved. When I asked her how she wanted to feel when she found the right place, she told me she wanted space between her and the neighbors so she would never have to be confronted like that again and feel uncomfortable in her own home. I knew exactly where to take her to help her feel the way she wanted to feel. That was her urgency. I hope that you'll remember when you're looking at making more sales, don't forget to find out what the urgency is before you start selling. My rule is, let them tell you the truth before you ever start selling. That's the ValueMatch way. Take care and have a fantastic year, and aspire to inspire.